Hi guys, welcome back to What's on My Plate. So for tonight I'm making a broccoli cheddar soup. It's going to be delicious, you're going to love it. So let's get started, but don't forget to like and subscribe. Hi guys, so let's get ready to make my broccoli cheddar soup. So I have a big head of broccoli here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut all the florets off. Okay, so I washed the broccoli first. Okay, here we go. And now we're going to take the broccoli and we're going to just chop it up. Okay. So that'll be the next step. Okay, so now we're going to take the broccoli and we're just going to chop it up in little pieces. We're trying to cut it up into bite-sized pieces. Okay, bite-sized pieces. So I'm just going to do that for all of these. Okay, and then after we will get to the next step. The soup is going to be creamy and delicious and cheesy. So just bite-sized pieces because broccoli doesn't really shrink up like other vegetables do. So you just want to definitely have a bite. Okay, so anyway, I will go ahead and finish cutting the rest of the broccoli up, and then I'm going to just set it aside, and I'm going to work on my carrot and my celery and my onion next. Okay, so here's my broccoli all chopped up, and I'm going to set it aside, and we'll work on the other vegetables. Okay, so now we're going to need a medium diced onion. So medium diced onion is next. Okay. Nice and small pieces. Okay. And then I'm just going to finish this up. And then we'll work on the carrot and the celery. Okay, so then next we're going to need a celery stalk. So we're going to dice this up as well. Okay. And we're also going to do one carrot. Okay. Okay, there goes my celery. Move that aside. And then we're going to work on the carrot. So I'm just going to cut the carrot in small pieces first in like sticks. I'm going to just cut them in sticks. And then I'm going to chop them up small, just like that. Okay, just very little pieces. Okay, so I'm just going to do the rest the same way. And then I'm going to start chopping up my garlic. And that'll be the next step. Okay, so my garlic is minced. Okay, and then there it is, our onion, our celery, our carrot, our garlic. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually shred my cheese, because you should always shred your cheese so it's fresh instead of buying the pre-shredded cheese. It melts so much better in the soup. So that is what I'm going to do next. So I'm going to set this aside, And we're gonna go ahead and start shredding our cheeses. Okay, so here I have shredded Swiss cheese. So this is a 1/2 cup of Swiss, and I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of grated Parmesan cheese. So I really like to incorporate different cheeses because it brings the flavor out of the soups. So we're just gonna do a 1/4 cup of fresh Parmesan, a 1/2 cup of shredded Swiss, and now I'm going to do cheddar. So this is mild cheddar. I didn't buy sharp, I just got the mild, just fine. So I'm gonna shred this one up. I'm gonna do the whole block for this because it is a broccoli cheddar soup. So you need it to mostly be cheddar. Okay, so I'm gonna do the whole block. And the block is, how many ounces is this? This is 8 ounces. Okay. So look at that. Freshly shredded. Okay. So I'm just finishing up the cheese, and then the whole soup is going to start coming together. Okay. Okay. There we go. All right, so then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so now let's just quickly work on the seasoning. So we're going to need a teaspoon of sea salt. Okay. Teaspoon of sea salt. We're going to need a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. We're going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. Okay. And then we're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard. 1/2 teaspoon of ground mustard and a 1/2 teaspoon of Italian seasoning. And the one that I use has marjoram in it, oregano, thyme, rosemary, sage, basil, and savory. So that is the Italian seasoning. So this is all of it. And I'm just going to set that aside. And now we're going to start working on sauteing all the vegetables and getting the soup together. So that'll be the next step. Okay, so I'm going to warm up 2 cups of milk. So I'm just going to put it on a light flame so this can start warming up while I'm doing everything else. Okay, so in my stock pot here, I'm melting a 1/4 cup of butter. And now I'm going to add my onions, celery, and carrots. I'm going to saute this for about 5 minutes or so until the vegetables are a little bit tender. So just mix this up in here. Okay. And then after it's 5 to 7 minutes on a medium-low. After this is 5 to 7 minutes is up, we're going to go ahead and add our garlic in. And then again, here's my milk is warming up. I'm just going to leave it here on the side. Okay. And then when the garlic goes in, we're going to start adding our seasoning in, our broth in, and it's all going to start coming together. Okay, so now it's been about 5 minutes, and I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic in here. Okay. So after this, we're going to actually add the seasoning. So we're going to actually add the seasoning now. So the garlic, 30 seconds to a minute. And we're going to add all the seasoning. Okay, mix that in. Okay. Smells great. Okay. So then the next thing we're going to do is we're going to start adding our broth. So I have a chicken bone broth that I'm using. So I'm going to start adding that in. Actually, I'm sorry, we're going to add our flour in first. I almost forgot my flour. 4 tablespoons of flour. Jeez, can't believe I almost did that. Okay, 4 tablespoons. Okay, make sure all the flour is incorporated in the vegetables. Okay. And let that flour like burn out a little bit. Okay. So now we're going to start adding our broth. Okay. So I'm using a whole 32-ounce bottle of bone broth, chicken bone broth. Add a little bit in at a time and just keep mixing it. Okay. Okay, keep mixing it up. Okay, that was only 2 cups. I'm going to add another 2 cups. It's a 32-ounce container. Okay, because next, like, the broccoli is going to go in, and then the broccoli is going to start cooking in this before we add the milk. And so some of it might evaporate anyway, so we just want to make sure we have enough juices in here. Okay, so let me make sure that flour is broken up in here. Okay. So let's make sure. Okay. Okay, now is the time to go ahead and start adding our broccoli in. So this was a whole head of broccoli, but it was a big head of broccoli. So I would say that it's at least 5 cups. So yeah, about 5 cups of broccoli. So start adding that in. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and simmer this for about like 15 minutes or so. It's a lot of broccoli, but don't forget, we're adding the 2 cups of milk in here as well. Okay. So let this broccoli cook. 15 minutes on a medium heat. And then we can actually even put the lid on halfway just so it can steam up a little bit. Okay, and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, I'm sorry, I didn't tell you, get it to a boil, then put the lid halfway on, and then bring it down to a simmer for about 15 minutes. Okay, and then we'll get to the next step. Okay, so my 15 minutes are up, and always, I forgot to tell you to mix it within that 15 minutes a few times. Okay, so this smells incredible right now. So now we're gonna just put the heat up just a little. So it's like, it's a medium low right now. And now I'm gonna go ahead, sorry about that. Now I'm gonna go ahead and add my 2 cups of warm milk. Okay, so mix that in. Okay. Look at that. That's 2 cups of warm milk. Okay, now we're going to start adding our cheese. And we're going to add it a little at a time. I'm so excited. Okay, so add it until it starts to melt. Okay, when you see this start to melt, then go ahead and add more. So this is all the shredded cheese that we had shredded earlier. Okay. So once you see this melting, then just keep adding more. Look how creamy that looks. Okay. Gonna add some more. I really love adding Swiss to my any dish that I make with cheese. Swiss is always one of them. It's a surprisingly delicious flavor, and you do not need that much. And even if you add some like Parmesan cheese like I did, you need to add a little bit. You don't even need that much. Okay, so let's just keep mixing this. And it's starting to thicken up even more. I don't want it to be too thick, but it'll thicken up. And if you don't want it to be as thick, just add more broth. Okay, so let's start adding more cheese. I'm blending this in. And that was a big piece of broccoli. It was a big broccoli head. So I said it was like 5 cups. It might have even been 6 cups of chopped broccoli. Okay, let's just add the rest in. Okay. And then just mix it until all the cheese is completely melted. And look how, that looks so pretty. Okay, so just let it all melt. Okay, so I'll give you a close-up because it's almost pretty much done. We're just gonna let it heat up a little more, make sure all that cheese is melted. I don't know if you can see the color in this. It smells amazing. Okay, so this is probably going to be, I'll let it go on a medium-low heat till I see all the cheese is melted. And then I'm going to shut it off. I'm going to plate it. And it's going to be ready to go. You can taste it to see if you need more salt. But other than that, after the few minutes here, it's going to be done, and then I'll plate it and then I will show you. Okay, so here's my soup. It's plated. I tasted it and it's amazing. The flavor is unbelievable. I shredded some extra cheese on top, some cheddar cheese on top, and you can eat this with a piece of toasted bread, crackers, or just by itself. It has so much flavor. And I thank you so much for watching what's on my plate. And I thank you to all my subscribers. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button on the channel. And I appreciate you. Thank you so much.